Liberal MP Greg Fergus elected Speaker of the House of Commons. Liberal MP Greg Fergus has been elected the new Speaker of the House of Commons, and his first challenge will be to help Parliament turn the page on the embarrassing Yaroslav Hunka incident. Fergus, who represents the Quebec riding of Hull-Aylmer near Ottawa, is the first black Speaker of the Commons. He was picked by his colleagues through a secret ranked ballot vote. In his pitch for the job, Fergus vowed to improve the decorum in the Commons, something past speakers have also promised with little success. Debates in the chamber routinely include nasty partisan bickering. MPs also often flout the rules, and heckling is a common tactic, particularly in question period. Respect and decorum. I'm going to be working hard on this, and I need all your help to make this happen, Fergus said in his first remarks from the Speaker's chair after being elected. Respect is a fundamental part of what we do here. We need to make sure that we treat each other with respect, and we show Canadians that example. There can be no dialogue unless there's a mutual understanding of respect. Speaking to reporters before the vote earlier Tuesday, Fergus was asked about the prospect of becoming the first black person in the role. The historic nature of that is not lost on me, he said, adding that's not the reason why I'm asking my colleagues to vote for me. I'm asking them to vote for me because I'm the best candidate, and that I'm the person who can apply the rules, fairly, firmly and consistently. The Speaker is tasked with maintaining order and decorum in Parliament. The Speaker is supposed to impartially ensure that all MPs follow rules and procedure. Speeches, questions, and debates in the House are directed to the Speaker. But speakers do not participate in debates, although they can vote to break a tie. The Speaker also oversees the administration and finances of the House. They manage staff and communicate between the Senate and the Crown. There are some ceremonial duties that also come with the role, such as hosting dignitaries and diplomats and representing the Commons abroad. The job also comes with some perks, including a small apartment in West Block and an official estate in Gatineau Park known as the Farm. Fergus is a long-time admirer of Parliament. Fergus is a long-time admirer of Canada's Parliament. He said Tuesday that, as a young person, he had the Hansard, the official record of debates, delivered to his home. In 1988, he came to Ottawa to serve as a parliamentary page, fetching water for MPs and delivering letters, among other tasks. One of those MPs Fergus worked with decades ago was Bloc Québécois MP Louis Plamondon, who presided over the Speaker's election today as Dean of the House, the MP with the longest unbroken sitting record who isn't a minister or party leader. Fergus is known as a loyal Liberal. He served as president of the Young Liberals of Canada in 1990s. In 2007, former Liberal leader Stéphane Dion named him National Director, the most senior role in the party's organizational hierarchy. In that position, he helped prepare the party for an election through fundraising and get out the vote mobilization. Fergus, first elected in 2015, served as Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's parliamentary secretary, a testament to the close relationship he enjoys with the head of government. Trudeau and his cabinet gave Fergus a standing ovation as he assumed the chair at the front of the Commons. "We elected you to help us be civil in our debates, to remind us we're all here for the same reason, which is to serve Canadians," Trudeau said. "Canadians expect us all to work together to deliver results. They expect us to behave to the highest standard." Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre said Fergus's election was an incredible achievement. He said Canadians are depending on Fergus to keep the government honest. Recounting the origins of parliamentary democracy in the United Kingdom, Poilievre said, "The first commoners met in fields. They were the peasants and the farmers who were tired of having their crops taxed away by an impossibly cruel crown. Today we have a similar circumstance with a government that is excessively powerful and costly. The role of Parliament in restraining the power of the Prime Minister is primordial," Poilievre said. NDP leader Jagmeet Singh warmly welcomed Fergus to the role, saying he knows the Quebec MP as someone who has a desire to work for the good of Canadians instead of playing partisan, political games. He said he trusts Fergus to serve ably as the body's collective spokesperson and a nonpartisan referee in a sometimes fractious chamber. This is a special position and racialized Canadians across the country can take pride that Mr. Fergus is the first person of color to hold the role of Speaker, Singh said. He said young people of color haven't always seen themselves reflected in the makeup of the House of Commons. Now, kids across the country will see a black Canadian holding this vital role, he said. Bloc Québécois MPs lined up to congratulate Fergus shortly after he was named the new Speaker, a sign that the third largest caucus in the Commons supported the Liberals' candidacy. Fergus has been an advocate for social housing and seniors. He served as a member of the board of directors of the Aylmer Arms, a residence for semi-retired and retired seniors, and as a member of a local parish council. Previously, he was vice president of a neighborhood association and was also involved with school committees, sports teams, and organizations promoting regional interests. Like some other Liberal MPs, Fergus has been known to filibuster Commons committee hearings on various government mishaps, such as the hearings on the We Charity scandal. During one contentious meeting about an ill-fated COVID-era summer student jobs program partnership with that nonprofit, Fergus spoke in Latin and cited ancient Greece to run out the clock, and called the opposition-backed inquiry a fishing expedition. Earlier this year, the Ethics Commissioner found Fergus violated the Conflict of Interest Act by writing a letter of support for a television channel's application to the CRTC for mandatory carriage. Under parliamentary rules, MPs can write letters of support to the CRTC in support of an application, but parliamentary secretaries and cabinet ministers cannot. Fergus apologized for what he called his unintentional error. The Speaker election was prompted by Anthony Rota's decision to vacate the chair after taking full responsibility for inviting Hunka, a 98-year-old veteran of a Nazi unit, to participate in the celebration of Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky during his recent visit. Fergus beat out PEI Liberal MP Sean Casey, Nova Scotia Conservative MP Christian Tremont, Ontario NDP MP Carol Hughes, BC Green MP Elizabeth May, Quebec Liberal MP Alexandra Mendez and Quebec Liberal MP Peter Skifk for the job.
Subscribe our YouTube channel and click our bell icon for new videos. Subscribe our YouTube channel and click our bell icon for new videos.
Australians can lift burden of history with yes vote, says emotional Albanese at Uluru. Australians have the opportunity to lift the burden of history from Indigenous people by voting yes to the Voice to Parliament, a clearly emotional Anthony Albanese has told a gathering of traditional owners at Uluru. The Prime Minister sat with leaders from Central Australia, including the most senior traditional owner of the rock, Reggie Uluru, on a hot afternoon in the national park at the base of the rock on Tuesday. Anang women performed, including a new dance they created using big digging sticks, which Prime Minister later said symbolized carrying the burden of the referendum. The sticks represented the burden of the Yes campaign, the burden of feeling the weight of history which is upon us. We have the opportunity to lift that burden of history, he said. The women raised the sticks above their heads, which he said symbolized strength and rising to the occasion. I believe Australia can rise to the occasion between now and 14 October, he said. We have just 4 days now in which Australia can be an enlarged country, a country at peace with our history, a country more unified, a country able to move forward, in the words of the Uluru Statement itself, walking together for that better future. The 14 senior women who met the Prime Minister were from several remote communities across Central Australia, including the chair of the NPY Women's Council Margaret Smith, and celebrated artists Ilawinti Ken and Renee Coletgia, who helped paint the original canvas on which the Uluru Statement from the Heart is written. Albanese was accompanied by Marion Scrimgeour, Labour MP for Lingerie and the only parliamentarian who signed the statement, and prominent Yes campaigner Noel Pearson. Albanese unexpectedly sat down in the red earth with the women who held his hands. He appeared visibly moved as they sang a song for him about lifting their voices together higher and higher. The Prime Minister described the Uluru Statement as a masterpiece. And on Saturday Australians can bring the beauty of this art to life with a grey lead pencil and one word, yes, he said. Earlier in the day, those 14 senior Aboriginal women told 24newsread.blogspot.com Australia they felt very strongly from their hearts that they want to be recognised in the Constitution. They said at the moment, they were not seen, heard, or visible to the rest of the nation. We want you to think of us, remember that we're here and we have a lot of struggles in this country. When we vote yes, it's not dividing two colors. We want everybody to come together, work together in our community, help us for our young generation, Margaret Smith from Imanpa, and chair of the NPY Women's Council said. We want to put our voice in so we can make changes in the community, what we want, not what the government tells us they want. The women are all senior leaders who are working to develop mental health resources for communities, called UTI:Jaku or clear thinking, combining traditional healing practices with Western mental health concepts to give Anang people the tools to talk about strong feelings and trauma. They say the project is an example of the kind of healing work that could be done if voice to Parliament was made possible. They say the referendum has stirred up strong feelings for everyone, and clear thinking was needed to find the right answer. We have been struggling. We want to see changes in our lives for the benefit of our young people, generations to come, that's why we are voting yes, Mamie Butler from Warrakurna in Western Australia, said. Our voices, our needs haven't been heard by the government. So this is a big chance for us to be heard. We are sick and tired of just getting hand-fed, we want to be equals. We are strong in our own culture, our own ways. We want to see white and black working together in a good way, empowered, not weak, and living happy together. We want to be seen, we want to be heard, we want to be understood, Renee Kolitjia from Multijulu, one of the artists who painted the original Uluru Statement from the Heart, added. On Wednesday, Albanese will greet ultramarathon runner and former Liberal MP, Pat Farmer, as he arrives at Uluru. Farmer has run 14,400 kilometers around Australia over 6 months. He left Hobart on April 17, and has run almost every day through every state and territory, in support of a voice to Parliament. Farmer is due to arrive at the Rock just after sunrise.
Subscribe our YouTube channel and click our bell icon for new videos. Subscribe our YouTube channel and click our bell icon for new videos.
Keir Starmer to make housing pledge in leader's speech. Sir Keir Starmer will pledge to build a new Britain with extra powers for housing and local mayors if Labour wins the next election. Speaking at the party's annual conference on Tuesday, the Labour leader will promise to accelerate building on unused urban land. He will also say Labour would build the next generation of new towns near English cities. And he will say extra police will guarantee patrols in town centres. Suggesting Labour is aiming for 2 terms in power, he will say a Labour victory would herald a decade of national renewal after 13 years of Conservative-led government. What is broken can be repaired, what is ruined can be rebuilt, he will tell delegates. Sir Keir's speech in Liverpool could be his last before a general election, expected next year, and could be his final opportunity to make a speech to a conference audience setting out his pitch to be Prime Minister to the country. In talking of a decade of renewal, he will seek to show his confidence and to evoke memories of post-Second World War PM Clement Attlee by emphasising the theme of rebuilding. Pat McFadden, Labour's national campaign coordinator, told 24newsread.blogspot.com breakfast Sir Keir was assuming nothing, but was levelling with the public about the challenges the country faced. What he's doing is he's setting out realistically that after 13 years of the Conservatives, it's going to take time to turn things round. He's saying we can't solve everything overnight, but what we can do is turn the page and begin a process of national renewal, Mr. McFadden added. The speech, expected to last around an hour, will set out plans for a wave of new towns near England's cities, echoing those built by the first majority Labour government after World War II. The party wants to build an unspecified number of large-scale settlements on land acquired by dedicated state-backed companies. They would have powers to buy land at lower prices, without having to factor in the increase in the value of land for potential planning permission. Sir Keir will say Labour would run a 6-month consultation to identify areas with unmet housing needs suitable for new development. Local councils will be invited to draw up proposals, with any affordable homes being put towards meeting their local housing targets. He will also say Labour would rewrite planning rules to set out national standards for 5-story Georgian-style townhouse blocks. Developers would be more likely to be granted planning permission on brownfield sites if they follow them. Hoarders in Westminster. Elsewhere in his speech, the Labour leader will also say his party would set up more metro mayors outside London with access to enhanced powers. Local leaders would be required to demonstrate a strong track record in managing public money, with exact plans subject to individual negotiations. Labour would also seek to upgrade the powers held by existing metro mayors over planning, skills policy, and transport to match those held in areas such as the West Midlands and Greater Manchester. He will say taking on the hoarders in Westminster is necessary to take on the hoarding of potential in our economy. In a section on policing, he will say Labour's plan to recruit more neighbourhood police officers would guarantee patrols for town centres, as part of a plan to crack down on crime and antisocial behaviour. He will pledge to reverse a 2014 decision to allow people stealing goods worth less than £200 to plead guilty by post, or face the magistrates' court, which Labour believes has led police to deprioritise low-value shoplifting. And he will promise to create a standalone offence in England and Wales of assaulting a retail worker, punishable by up to 2 years in prison. Labour has promised to fight the next election on the economy, in a sign of increasing confidence generated by its comfortable lead in national opinion polls. In a move that has disappointed some on the left of the party, it has ruled out wealth taxes to fund public services, and has sought to emphasise it will be responsible with the public finances. Mr. McFadden told 24newsread.blogspot.com Radio 4's Today programme Labour wanted better public services, but was being very candid with people that it could not just tax your way to the future. The party knew it had to generate private investment to achieve the economic growth necessary to improve services, he said.
Subscribe our YouTube channel and click our bell icon for new videos. Subscribe our YouTube channel and click our bell icon for new videos.
National, ACT remain on track to form government with support from NZ First, poll shows. National and ACT will need to call on NZ First if they are to form the next government, the latest One News Varian poll suggests. National support has stayed steady on 36%, which would deliver 46 seats in Parliament. However, ACT's support has fallen 2% to 10, meaning 13 seats. So they would need NZ First's 8 seats to reach the required 61 to form a government. On September 25, Christopher Luxon announced he would be willing to work with NZ First if necessary, but his preference was a National ACT coalition. The centre-left parties have maintained the same level of support, the poll found. National, 36%, steady, 46 seats. Labour, 26%, steady, 33 seats. Greens, 13%, steady, 17 seats. ACT, 10%, down 2 points, 13 seats. NZ First, 6%, steady, 8 seats. TE Paddy Maori, 2%, steady, 3 seats. The Opportunities Party, top, has edged up to 2%, NZ Loyal remains on 1%, with Aotearoa Legalis Cannabis and Freedom New Zealand and New Zeal all attracting 1% each. Some 10% said they did not know, or refused to say, who they would vote for. These were excluded from the percentage and seat calculations. In the preferred Prime Minister stakes, National leader Christopher Luxon has scored a 3% rise in support to 26% and edged ahead of Labour's Chris Hipkins, who is on 25, up 2 points. It is the first time Luxon has been the top choice for PM in the poll. The poll surveyed 1,000 eligible voters and was weighted for demographics, with a margin of error of 3.1% at the 95% confidence interval. It was conducted between September 30th and October 3rd. Christopher Luxon, 26%, up 3 points. Chris Hipkins, 25%, up 2 points. Winston Peters, 4%, steady. David Seymour, 3%, down 2 points. Chloe Swarbrick, 2%, up 1 point. James Shaw, 2%, up 1 point. Marama Davidson, 1%, down 1 point. Nicola Willis, 1%, steady. Liz Gunn, 1%, steady. Raywiri Waidatai, 1%, up 1 point.
Subscribe our YouTube channel and click our bell icon for new videos. Subscribe our YouTube channel and click our bell icon for new videos.
Polling stations opened at 8 a.m. GMT in Liberia Tuesday, October 10th, with over 2.4 million registered voters set to cast a ballot for general elections. Incumbent President George Weah faces 19 candidates. To win the presidency, a candidate must get at least 50% plus one of the votes cast. If no party reaches that threshold, the two parties with the most votes in the first round will proceed to a runoff election in November. Voters will also elect members of the House of Representatives and the Senate at the end of their term of office. Liberia's main parties have pledged to uphold peace during the polls, despite clashes between rival camps in the final days of the campaign. Polling stations will close at 6 p.m. GMT. First results are expected within 15 days.
Subscribe our YouTube channel and click our bell icon for new videos. Subscribe our YouTube channel and click our bell icon for new videos.
Rahul Gandhi introduces new family member Nori to world. It's a gift for Sonia. Congress MP Rahul Gandhi on Wednesday introduced his new family member to social media on the occasion of World Animal Day. Her name is Nori and it's a gift for her mother Sonia Gandhi, flown all the way from Goa. In a video shared on his YouTube channel, Rahul Gandhi shared his recent Goa trip where he met a Goan family from whom he got Nori. Then he flew her home in New Delhi and surprised Sonia Gandhi with the gift. On the way, he also took a metro ride, as seen in the video. The Goa trip took place in August and it was reported that Rahul Gandhi got an exquisite breed of a Jack Russell Terrier. It was Rahul Gandhi's private visit to Goa-based dog breeders Sharvani Pitri and husband Stanley Braganka. They earlier told HT that they got a call from Rahul Gandhi's office inquiring about the availability of the Jack Russell Terriers.
Subscribe our YouTube channel and click our bell icon for new videos. Subscribe our YouTube channel and click our bell icon for new videos.